Hi and welcome. In today's video, I want to talk about psychosomatic roots for illnesses. As a medical doctor, I noticed that all illnesses have an emotional component. And if you understand this emotional component and release the emotions of or fears associated with this condition, then healing is on its way. So let's look at the psychosomatic roots for illnesses and conditions. Doctors, neurologists often say a person is his nervous system. Everything else is secondary. Common people say all diseases are from stress. Only syphilis is from pleasure. It's just a joke, but it makes sense. And scientifically proven fact reminds that the more stress in your life, the more often you can become sick. Health problems have psychosomatic roots. All of them, like at least an emotional component for all illnesses. From the Greek word, psyche means soul and soma means body. It means soul, body, suffering. But all illnesses have soul, body, suffering. When emotions can't find an outlet, they go inside the body and stay there, creating diseases. This is what I noticed when I worked as a doctor. There are the 7 most common psychosomatic problems many people have. So the first one, internal conflict inside them. Second, body language. Third, conditional benefits of an illness. Past experiences, identification, autosuggestion, and self-punishment. Let's look at each of them in details. Great internal conflict. This is a situation when the mind is fighting the heart. Mind and heart fighting war. It is like a guerrilla war inside the person. It's like a person fighting inside himself, and he doesn't really know who and what I should listen to, my feelings, heart, or what my mind think about the situation. And mind very often distort the truth. And the person finds himself or herself in internal conflict. And if you stay in this conflict for a long time, eventually you will become sick. Body language. The body physically reflects a state that could be expressed in phrases. This is such a headache. I can't digest it. Here's a pain in the butt. My hands are tired. You are giving me a heart attack. These are programming messages that eventually will turn into symptoms if repeated continuously. So when you hear these words, pain on the butt or pain on the neck, you should be just become more aware that the energy of this body language can go inside your cells and become real problems in your body, and the way you speak and the way other people speak. So how you can heal? Only to become aware, to use a better language yourself. Try to become, try to use more graceful language, and don't use too much of these kind of words, pain on the butt, pain on the neck. At least not in emotional context, because the more emotional you become, the more you internalize what you say. And other people too. If other people use these words and they become very emotional when they say that, they produce more energy when they speak. And this energy can affect other people and you if you are close to them. Conditional benefits of an illness. This is a very interesting and very difficult category because it's very difficult to deal with these patients. So this category includes health problems, which may bring a certain conditional benefit to their owner. This is not a simulation, but a really diagnosed disease. Perhaps a person really wants to have the benefits which he will get only by getting sick. For example, claiming money from government or family members, insurance claims, manipulating family members to get more attention or other benefits. The mind is very powerful and can manifest disease in a person just the same way as a placebo can manifest health. So yes, I dealt with this person when I worked as a conventional medical doctor. I noticed how people can manifest an illness if they have some conditional, it's really fake, it's really wrong, but they feel it's like benefits to them if they stay sick. Again, how to heal it, become aware of this, and yourself, you should not use it. This kind of conditional benefits of an illness. And if you see other people do it, will become aware that this energy is not affecting you because it can. Past experiences. The cause of an illness can also be past traumatic experiences. More often, it is a traumatic childhood or traumatic relationships. The condition here is that the sick person is holding on to the past and unwilling to forgive and let it go. So not being able to forgive can be a root cause of many illnesses. Many illnesses, heart problems, lung problems, but any problems you can materialize if you or somebody not able to forgive and let past experiences go. And I notice that some people become so attached to their past experiences to the point that they identify themselves with these experiences. It means if they like let these experiences go, they just lose their identity. It's like these past experiences become their identity. Well, to heal, first of all, they need to become aware of these experiences and about the importance of letting these experiences go. Forgive. Identification. In this case, a physical symptom can be formed due to a strong emotional attachment to a person who has a similar disease. Often there is a fear of losing this person or the loss has happened. When I worked in a hospital situation as a doctor, and I remember I worked in geriatric department once, and I noticed that geriatric is where old people stay. I noticed that if we had patients, a couple, a husband and wife stay in hospital together, and if one person dies from a disease in hospital, the other partner dies very quickly, maybe a few days, a few weeks after the partner's death. And quite often, and it was really like a surprising revelation that the reason why the second person dies is similar to the reasons why the first person dies. It's like, for example, brain changes. The first person may die from dementia, brain changes, and the second person dies from the same problem, brain changes, but it is not contagious. According to conventional medicine, it's maybe not contagious, but the second person got it because of identification, because emotional attachment to their partner. Another example of identification, it's when a carer becomes sick because of like looking after a sick person, maybe it's a relative or a partner, a friend, and the carer become ill. And very often the diagnosis is similar to what the sick person has. So a carer internalize the suffering from the sick person because of identification. And the more intimacy between the people, like the more emotional contact between people, the stronger the energy exchange. It means like stronger identification, more chances to get sick. So, and the more impersonal you are, you can care about the person, but the more neutral you are, the more like impersonal, the less chances you get to become sick due to identification. Therefore, it's very important if you are a carer, learn neutrality and learn impersonal mind and detachment. It doesn't mean you become cold and detached, but you don't go like, oh my God, see what happens. Oh, like I'm suffering for you and with you. But if you do that, you get the energy of illness from the sick person through identification, and you can get ill. What a suggestion. A person believes in the presence of the disease, even if the disease doesn't exist. The person always tries to find evidence for this illness, making false programming to his subconscious mind. Therefore, the disease will eventually be materialized. So, yeah, attachment to maybe I'm sick, and keep trying to find all the evidence can eventually materialize real illness. Again, more neutrality, more impersonal mind and detachment to everything. Stay neutral. Self-punishment. This punishment is associated with guilt, real or imaginary, that is tormenting a person. Self-punishment facilitates the experience of guilt as if redeeming it. So be aware of when you feel guilty without actual reasons why you are guilty, or shame in the same category, guilt or shame for something you never done. It maybe come from the family or other family members, and you feel that you need to punish yourself for their faults. Very common situation in the family